Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Jupiter James, where I do what I want when I want, and today I want to comfortably sit here and talk about astrology. So let's get into the 11th house of astrology, and we're gonna go through the signs, all right? So with the 11th house, this is gonna rule themes of what you accomplish from the 10th house. So this is your friendship groups. This is going to be your accomplishments as far as your dreams and wishes in the future. And yeah, let's get into it. So with Aries being in your 11th house, this means that your friends and the friend groups and the organizations that you find yourself in is going to be probably very active. Like your friends are probably someone, or the organizations that you find yourself in are very dramatic or combative. Like it's gonna be with people who are probably just as passionate as you, and in the future you are probably gonna be someone later in life where like the second half of your life is like almost so much more active than the first part of your life. Yeah, if you have Mars here in the 11th house, this is also going to be someone who you're probably also very active in your community, active as far as like doing things for humanity, or within your friend group, you're probably someone who's very active. You are also probably someone who's going to achieve independence or autonomy later on in your life. That's probably a big dream or a goal or a wish that you have in your life, is to be autonomous or independent. And you will gain that from whatever you do from the 10th house. So yeah, that's gonna be Aries in the 11th house. So if you have Taurus in your 11th house, this is gonna mean that you are someone who's probably going to, you probably are someone who has already very comfortable, luxurious friends. Like your friends are so comfortable for you and they comfort you, and they're probably very grounded, and they're steadfast and steady, and they are stable and dependable, and they're also probably also very luxurious and have a lot of money and have a lot of wealth. And that is because you are that way. You are going to be someone in the future who is just like that. You're going to have wealth of your own, and you're going to be someone who people depend on and who people come to, and it's just going to be very like comfort vibes in your future. Like you're going to be someone who just, I don't know, I feel like Taurus in the 11th house, that's such a great placement to have, because you're going to be someone that either society or your friends are going to see you as a grounded, dependable figure, and people are going to come to you to be comfortable, and you're going to be luxurious and probably very wealthy. You're going to have a lot of wealth and a lot of art around you. Just a lot of the material comforts in life you will have. You will. And your friends will reflect that as well. They will be a part of the comfort that you have in your life. You will have comfortable, steady friends. And yeah. So, oh, and with Taurus in the 11th house, you may later on in life be, I think I said that, you will be a figure that is dependable to society. Like you'll be probably doing something for society that helps stabilize people or comfort people, or in some way, shape, or form, like, or offer art to people or humanity. Like, yeah. All right, so with Gemini in the 11th house, this means that your ultimate dream, or what is going to manifest for you in the future after your career or later on in life, is you're gonna be someone who is speaking to the public, or you're gonna have friends who, you either already have friends or going to amass friends who are very intellectual. You value friends who are very intellectual. If your friends or the groups that you align yourself with, or the cliques that you're in, are not mentally stimulating you intellectually or verbally, at the very least, you get bored very quickly, and you're like, I gotta go. I cannot do this. I'm bored. Like you're gonna be someone very social, very like communicative, and you value that, you need that, you want that, and you will have that if you don't already. But when it comes to friends, this is what you want, and in the future, you're gonna be someone who is speaking a lot and yeah, this gives me like writer vibes. You might be a writer or a scribe for your company in some way. But yeah, so with with if you have Gemini in your 11th house, please let me know how that manifests for you. Are you someone who has very talkative friends, or you and your friends are always chatting? You probably like immediately when you're in a friendship group, you get a group chat going. Like you love a good group chat. Like you just need a group chat. Yeah. So if you have Gemini, and then after Gemini is what? Libra? Gemini is Libra, right? Let's just go with that. Just kidding. Cancer. Cancer in the 11th house. This means that you are going to be someone who you love friends who heal you and nurture you, and your friends need to feel like home for you. If your friends do not feel like home for you, you move on and you go in the next direction. You're not someone who tolerates or sticks around for people who don't feel like good. Like feeling is a big thing for you. Like if they don't feel good friendship wise, no way. They need to feel like home for you. And you, when it comes to like career or assets later on in the future, like your dreams and wishes, you're someone who you probably want a comfortable home. You will probably have a comfortable home. You'll probably have a comfortable life in the second half of your life. Or from the hard work that you do, this is what you will cultivate. You will cultivate friends and a life that comforts you and heals you. It makes you feel good. So that's the 11th house. And then, just kidding. So then we're gonna go ahead and do Libra. With Libra in the 11th house, this means that you are gonna be someone who probably values fairness in your friendships, and you are probably someone that your friends always come to for diplomatic affairs. Like there's probably a lot of, that you're probably like Switzerland amongst your friends. There's always probably some conflicts going on, and you're someone who's like wants to be better, and like you want to be the one that people come to for the final say so, or like, hey, like she said this and I said that, like who's right in this situation? You probably have to be very diplomatic within your friendship groups. And you like fairness as well. Like you want friends who are fair. Like if they're not fair or being fair, you're like, that I'm not gonna get the shitty end of the stick, dude. That's no way. So that is Libra in the 11th house. So with, what's the next sign? Libra, Virgo. Okay, so with Libra, with Virgo in the 11th house, this means that you are going to be someone in the future who probably you seek perfection. You want kind of like a perfect life, a flaw-free life in the future. Like this is probably what you are working for. You are working for like perfection. You want people who, or you yourself want to serve others. You probably serve your friends, and you probably help your friends out a lot currently. In your friendship group, you are someone who is maybe an assistant to your friends, or you are the one helping your friends be better at things, or like you in your friendship group, you're like, let me help you, like let me do this. Or you have friends who are very perfect. You seek perfect friendships. Like you're probably very critical of your friends, and that's just because you value things done right, and people who are flaw-free. I don't know, like with Virgo in the 11th, you are probably someone who in an organization, you are probably in an engineer field, or you will end up in an engineer field, or you are someone who, yeah, like who serves people, or you're an IT technician, and this is what is going to manifest for you later on in life. But more so with friends, you serve your friends, you help your friends, you help their situations, You want to help them do things better. With Virgo in the 11th house, this is going to mean that this is someone who in the future, or by the gains of their 10th house, or by the gains of their career and the friendships that they find themselves in, they usually find themselves in corporations or in jobs and friendships and big organizations, or the organizations that they work for, in a place of service. So they are probably always very service oriented with their friends, kind of like Cancer, but just more in a technical, practical way. So with Virgo, this is going to be someone who, that particular friend is more of like the friend that you call and they know how to fix your computer, or they're the friend or the person who in their life when they get older, they want to be someone who has all their ducks in a row. They are going to be someone who is trying to achieve perfection in their life. A dream or aspiration of them is to have the perfect setup so that they can then help others, if that makes sense. Like they want all their money in a row. They want everything to be perfect. That is Virgo in the 11th house. Like their future aspirations is going to be someone who wants to work to a level in their life where their money situation is perfect, their life is perfect, their body is perfect, their health is perfect, and then that way they can then go out in the world and make their friends and their organizations and the world around them just as perfect. So moving on to Libra. Libra in the 11th house is going to be someone who they have friends on their mind. They want connections, and they would love in the future if they had a lot of people who love them, and they had a lot of connections and a lot of friends. Like they strive for friends for some reason or another. With this placement, this person is probably this would make you maybe like a Sagittarius rising. So this would mean that because the person is probably away from home or an immigrant or is always traveling, friendships and connections to them are very fleeting, or it's hard for them to put down roots in that area of life. So eventually, as they get older, they hope to maybe settle down and find really solid friendships and community and people that they are around, organizations that they can call on, you know, and that they can depend on. And that is with Libra in the 11th house, is that they want to find connection and have connections with powerful people, with the world at large, with like-minded individuals, and yeah, connection with Libra in the 11th house. All right, so with Scorpio in the 11th house, this is going to be someone who probably aims to be very low-key in the future. They probably are working, whatever they're doing from the 10th house, they're working in their career so that they can just go away. Like they don't really want to be around. They want to be low-key, probably a recluse. They just want a very quiet life, and they just want to be low-key, you know, like they don't want a lot of attention or a lot of things around them. And they probably also, this could also teeter into the territory of someone who probably will have a lot of power and influence within the world, because with Pluto being the ruling sign of, well, the ruling planet of Scorpio, this is going to make for someone who has a lot of power and influence. And so with this being in the very humanitarian house of Aquarius, which is the 11th house, this is going to make for someone who probably has a lot of power and influence in the world, and without them even trying, they're just very magnetic to the world around them. So this could give me very much like, you know, Capricorn vibes. Like this could be a Capricorn rising, I assume. But yeah, this could be someone who has a lot of influence in the world, or who hopes to have a lot of influence in the world, but they themselves will be very low-key. They'll be low-key behind closed doors, but when they step out in the world, they have a lot of power and influence. This could be like a politician or a celebrity, or someone who transforms the masses, like someone who probably brings something to the table and they transform the collective. It not only transforms them, but it transforms the whole. Like by them bringing something to the world that transforms everyone and makes them better, it then transforms them because their life has changed, maybe from all the notoriety they'll get from it or the fame they'll get from it. So this is a very powerful placement with 11th house in Scorpio. All right, moving on to Sagittarius in the 11th house. With Sagittarius in 11th house, this is going to be someone who probably just wants to travel. Like, they dream of a life of travel. Like, I have a friend who has Sagittarius in 11th house, and she's just always dreaming about being on a plane. That's all she ever wants to be on, is a plane. She's like, I just want to travel. When she sees Instagram posts of people who are free and don't have a job and just are always traveling, she gets like jealous and angsty because that's a dream of hers in her 11th house with Sagittarius there. Like, she comes alive when she's traveling. She gets lucky when she travels, you know? So with 11th house in Sagittarius, is definitely going to be someone who in the future they are going to master the art of being free and traveling when they want to travel and doing the things that they want to do and not being tethered to, you know, the mundane 9 to 5 and whatnot. So yeah. And this is also going to come from the gains of their 10th house. So remember, the 11th house is just the gains from the 10th house. So whatever you're working on in your career in the 10th house, this is going to be the byproduct of that, if that makes sense. So yeah. With Capricorn in the 11th house, this is going to make for someone who is going to be very, very successful with making friendships and being very successful in big organizations or groups. Like, they are probably going to be really good leaders or CEOs of a really big company, or someone who runs a company. I don't know why I get that. Like, I just get a CEO vibes. I get CEO vibes. I get like business owner. I get someone who is leading a big organization or a large group of people, but more in a traditional sense. So CEO vibes, you know, like, yeah, that will be from the gains of your 10th house. So whatever you're working on, whatever the energy is in your 10th house, this will then promote you to that level of CEO or being a leader of a business of some sort. So that is Capricorn in the 11th house. I'm gonna do more in-depth videos, but this is just our Through the Signs series. So check back later and there will be more in-depth, maybe 11th house specific videos after this series. So just stay tuned for that. Like, these are more general just to get it through the signs and for you to get a flavor and a feel of what each sign does in a house. All right, with Aquarius in its home sign of the 11th house, this is gonna make for someone who is probably gonna be very, very influential with the masses, like, or has a lot of friends. Friends come easily to them, and them working for a really big organization or company comes easy to them. Like, they will always find themselves being the person who has a lot of connections, a lot of friends. They're probably someone who, when they walk down the street, a lot of people know them, not because they're famous, but because they are a very communal person. Like, when they go to a store, they have this personality about them that is very friendly and approachable, and even if it's not, like, they just know a lot of people, you know, they're the ones that say hi to everyone, and you go, oh, do you know them? They go, no, that's just the guy from the gas station. No, that's just the guy that sells the oranges on the street. But they make a point to wave to everybody so that everyone knows them, you know, like, they're that type of person. My dad has Aquarius in the 11th house, and growing up, he would just always know everyone. Every time we would get in the car, he would be waving or throwing the peace sign to someone as if he knew them, and they would be people around the neighborhood, and I would go, Dad, how do you know all these people? And he goes, I know them because I say hi to everyone. I just wave to everyone, and by nature, over time, people begin to know him, right? Like, so it's just like that. That's the energy when Aquarius is in the 11th house. The person will be a person of the people, and a lot of people will know them, whether they are in a big organization or not. People will know them, and they most likely will work for a big organization. My dad worked for a large organization very easily. Like, he worked his way up in that company very easily. Like, it's kind of like they just find themselves, whether they apply for it or not, whether they say hi or not, it just comes because Aquarius is in its natural home of the 11th house. So that is Aquarius in the 11th house. I'm gonna be doing more in-depth videos of each sign in a different series with a more 11th house specific series. This is just a general sense of what everything is, because this is a through the signs series, so this is more general. Stay tuned for an 11th house more specific video, because I will be going in depth and be breaking everything down. But for this video, this is just our general, building blocks of what the zodiac is. All right, so moving on to Pisces, our last sign in the 11th house. So with Pisces in the 11th house, this is going to be someone who probably finds themselves in large organizations that probably deal and dabble with spirituality. So I'd even say like big mega churches this person would find themselves in the future, or being a part of, or someone who leads an organization that is leading a very spiritual charge, or has a spiritual tone or element to it, or a creative musical element to it. This could be the music industry. This could be anything very creative and or spiritual. This person probably also has very spiritual friends. So, yeah, very spiritual friends, finds themselves in very spiritual communities at times, and yeah. So that was Through the Signs, very generalistic, Through the Signs series video, and I'm gonna be doing more in-depth videos of this sign specifically, or this house specifically. So just stay tuned for that, and that concludes our Through the Signs series. If anyone needs a birth chart reading, astro counseling, any type of tarot reading, or love and destiny career reading, hit my links below, and I'm sure I got you and can offer you something within the realm of what you need. Okay, so that was Jupiter James, and I'm signing out, and that was the end of our video. Y'all take care, and I'll see you soon.